All right, so quick Canva tutorial for those of you that decide to go the Canva route. Now, here on Canva, it's 100% free if you don't want to grab Photoshop and Lightroom. I would recommend that you do, though. Now, if you're on Canva, what you can do is you can create a design, or you can simply go to one of the designs that they have pre-templates down here. So like YouTube channel art, obviously like Instagram posts. And if you scroll over enough, there's going to be a YouTube one somewhere, or YouTube thumbnail right there. Or you can simply create a design if you want to add your own custom dimensions in, and then obviously type the pixel ratio in there, right? So let's say, for example, that you wanted obviously like a 1920 by 1080 is your generic, thumbnail that fits most places and most sites. But like, for example, if you had to do like, I don't know, an IG story one or something that's like a little bit more different, you want to get the pixel ratio for that and then obviously type it in and create your new design. Now, I already showed you how to do that in Lightroom and resize, but that's how you're going to do it with Canva. Okay, so then you're going to create your new design. And same thing, right? So if we go up to uploads, they already have selected thumbnails or photos in here and elements, some text and some stuff that you can add for backgrounds. Now you can obviously add a background layer here if you want. You can also fill it with a background color, or you can add a picture just like I showed you with Lightroom, okay? So we already have that picture from our downloads that I showed you before. So we're gonna upload an image into our photo. And keep in mind too that now because we created those custom dimensions for 1920 by 1080, we have the actual thumbnail already sized that we can just drag out to our pixel ratio. So if we go to downloads really fast, here's the original photo that we grabbed. And here's the one that we updated in Lightroom. So we want to grab the original one so I can show you how this looks, okay? And then once it finally uploads, I'm going to select it and drag it in here and then resize it a little bit and drag it out. Now, one of the things that I don't like about Canva, which is another reason I suggest using Lightroom and Photoshop, is when you drag it, sometimes because this is a free software, it distorts the image quality a little bit. So when I drag this out, every once in a while it does that. It doesn't do it every time in my experience, and I don't use Canva that much. But every once in a while it does distort the image quality that you're going to see. So there we go. Same thing roughly. I'm going to, if we double click it and we drag it over a little bit, because that looks like it's where the focus is on that picture, and we hit OK. There we go. So now we have a 1920 by 1080, same rough background image, but we need to brighten it, okay? So if we select the picture now, right, and you click on the actual image and you come up here to adjust, then you can obviously drag the contrast, same thing as Lightroom. It's not going to be as good, but it still will do its job. And remember, this is free. You can also adjust the saturation a little bit as well. And you can also tint it or, increase or decrease the brightness as you see fit, obviously depending on whether it's a bright or a dark photo, okay? You can also play around with the other ones, but the only ones that I've ever really used, I touched with tint a little bit, although I don't really recommend that you do that. It can look good on some pictures, but like I said, use it sparingly or it's gonna look too cartoonish. Really, all you really need to know is brightness is there if you need it, contrast and saturation, just like in Lightroom. Although one of the things that isn't in Lightroom is the actual, you're not gonna have the vibrance option, okay? So let's say that we want to just adjust the contrast a little bit. It's probably a little too much, and maybe the saturation just slightly. And then we're going to hit enter, and that should, drag that. Now, same thing here with the text. You can add some text, and they have some text designs kind of loaded in here. You can also create text and then adjust the font up here and the sizing. So if we want to do like, for example, travel photography, and then made simple. And then we drag that up. And we can also adjust like I said, you can switch the font here. Some of them are paid fonts, but there's a lot of free ones as well. You can adjust the color of that. You can also adjust the sizing. You can bring it to life with an actual, if you go over to elements, again, you can bring it to life with a rectangle in the background. It's not going to look the same as obviously a Photoshop one will, but it's just something that you can, keep in mind. And then if you needed to position this, you could hit position and then backward and then do it like that, right? So like I said, this is not ideal, but if you're looking for something free, this technique can obviously help you with that. So I'm going to X out of this and I'm just going to add this up here. And then obviously if I wanted to, I could bring my own picture in as well, just to kind of give you some reference. Go to important pictures, cut out to me. Let's add the suit one here. and bam, right? So this is something that you can use if you elect to go this route. Like I'd recommend, you can't obviously add like a shadow, you can't add the same effects. It's not going to look the same, but it is a good free option for those of you that want to go this route, right out of the gate.